applications that may also
Yeah,
influence the speed of the internet.
absolutely. Yesterday, Mr. Andros helped us giving the idea of switching off a few devices, from the Wi-Fi. It could also improve the connection. Okay, then. So this is the test call. I've been recording for 20 seconds. Let me check and come back.
Okay.
Please give me a few seconds. Minutes earlier, so thanks for being on time. This is Vanakkam.
Yeah.
This is the Vanakkam, gesture from my land. So Vanakkam means welcome. Thank you. Thank you for generously accepting this invite. So I'll give a little introduction here, and myself, Krishnan Srinivasan. I'm a fine art photographer and a distance skater. Skating happened very late in my life at the age of 37. And who we have here is an absolute athletic marvel. He has absolutely varied interest, and he has aced in all the things that he has put up on the Instagram page. I just want to list it: long distance skater, freestyle skateboarder, trail runner, cyclist, tortoise keeper, beer and whiskey geek, biologist. So we have the one and only Lennart van de Peppel, and I'm so honored, and thanks for trusting me to interview you. So kindly, tell us about yourself.
Short introduction. I am Lennart. I was born and raised in the Netherlands. I'm 33 years old. I'm currently living in Germany, actually. So last year I got my PhD, and I got a grant to do a postdoc here in Freiburg in Germany, which is close to the Black Forest. So I moved to Germany in April, and I will spend the coming 2 years here. And it's a very nice place where I live. It's a bit hilly, so for skating it's challenging, but I also, you mentioned it, I also do a lot of trail running, and for trail running it's really great here.
Absolutely.
And skating wise, I think I started skating probably 2009, 2010 or something. And I got involved in the distance community, I think around 2011 or something, 2010 maybe. I was very intrigued by the ultra skate. So basically the idea of skating for 24 hours was the thing that actually got me into the distance skateboarding, because before that I did, normal skateboarding, as you mentioned, freestyle skateboards on those kind of boards. And and then I transitioned first into longboarding, so longboard dancing mainly. And then I saw somebody actually with I don't know whether you know this board, a longboard Larry pusher, and I was amazed by how low to the ground it was, and how fast you could push it, And then I heard about people actually skating for 24 hours, and I thought, that's something I like.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Longboard Larry is a very interesting person. Actually, I did not meet him, but he was genuine enough to introduce himself via Instagram. So he makes longboards as well. So I happen to know him by then. Your freestyle skateboarding is amazing. Collection of decks that is back over there. Like, is this your gift, or like something you won out of competitions, or like souvenirs, or what is that?
The boards behind me, you mean? Yeah, they're sort of a collection. So the red and the black one and the one next to it, those are Rodney Mullen boards. I don't know whether you know this guy, but
I know that.
So they're not originals. They're like remakes from old school 1980s freestyle decks.
Wow.
And I just like the graphics, and I just bought them for on the wall. They're pretty nice. There.
The father
of a small collection I have.
The father of skateboarding, Mr. Rodney Mullen. Yeah.
Yeah. Big inspiration for me skateboarding wise. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, sir. I'm a fluff ball most of the time, so lazy guys, couch potato. I would call myself an idiot savant, minus the savant most of the time. But uh, my, when I got to know about Rodney Mullen and other people, great people, it was so inspiring. But it's just that fluff ball thing, overweight or the big size thing, kept me from getting into all this stuff. So I'm
Hmm.
so happy for people, to converse with such great people like you. It's totally a honor for me. It's a dream come true moment for me. I have more than a decade of
Hmm.
experience in long distance, and thing is like it's true, something great for me. So yesterday, Flaming Room Day happened. Were you part of Flaming Room Day?
No, so this year I couldn't make it. I was in the Netherlands and I just got back to Germany yesterday. So,
Uh-huh.
but it's a great event. I think I've been there two times,
Mm-hmm.
2017
Mm-hmm.
and 2021, so last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also skated because it's a public track basically. So I've also skated it once when it was not the race basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really great and. It's close to Berlin, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a couple of other races there as well. They've had a marathon, I think, twice, and a 6 hour event, not on the Flaming Runde track, but Kienbaum it was called. It's a different track, but also close to Berlin, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Berlin crew are a really nice group of skaters. And yeah, I wanted to say so. I think in general the whole distance skateboarding community is super great. It's very friendly, very open, very inclusive, and
It's very
yeah,
evident.
it's really great. So and also well, we usually go to Berlin to Flaming, for the fun of it, for meeting the German crew and skating with them, and yeah, it's always a very nice event, and also. Um, I mean, it's a bit daunting maybe because it's 92 kilometers the whole lap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a good challenge for skaters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, since there you always find some people of your own skill level, so you can join them and then skate a little bit in a group. And
Mm-hmm.
it is a race, but not everybody skates it competitively. Some people just want to finish skating the
Mm-hmm. I
92
understand.
kilometers, which is of course already an achievement by itself. So
Oh,
yeah,
it,
nice event.
do people skate in groups in Flaming Round?
Yeah, usually they do. So
Okay.
I think last year, so 2021, we skated with the fast guys
Oh, team.
for quite a while together, and then there was, I mean, like I said, some people do approach it a bit more competitively. So in the end, the group broke up a little bit. It also started
Okay.
raining, which also sort of affected the performance.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, people just try to, yeah, it always happens a bit automatically, that people sort of group together because they think, oh, this guy skates a nice pace, and then they stay together.
Ah.
Because I mean, you've been out there, you're out there for like, well, depending on how fast you skate, between 4 and 6 hours, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's just a lot nicer to spend that time with other people than going all the way by yourself, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
very true, very true. 92 kilometers, anyways. Yes. Sir,
Mhm.
I gotta say, I really like your beard and mustache. Like, what's the story behind that? Yeah,
Thank you.
I've seen your videos on Dutch Ultra Skate as well. So you've been mimicking, doing voice mimicry, being so fun and lightening the mood over there. So do you like other kind of arts? Do you have any other skills other than what you have listed in the Instagram profile? Like, uh, like into a drama or like into, that kind of amazing joking stuff. Like you just do it with your friends. I'm sorry, I hit the mic.
Yeah. I'm just yeah, I like to make jokes, and not take everything so seriously. So yeah, some people find that entertaining, but
Mm-hmm.
I never practice it on a more professional level or something.
Okay. So like that was really interesting actually. It lightened the mood. The video become more watchable and people watch it more times, like that old video of
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
Saltos. Oh, that's how.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, can you throw some light on your PhD even more? That was really
So
interesting.
yeah, yeah, sure. So I'm a biologist by training.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I basically did my bachelor and master in Wageningen in the Netherlands, which is well a pretty well known university.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also did my PhD there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm basically interested evolutionary biology and symbiosis. So my PhD was about fungus growing termites.
Mm.
I guess you have them in India too, right? The termite mounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I've been to South Africa because the termites also found in Africa
Mm-hmm.
for sampling.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mainly worked on the fungus that they cultivate, and I also went to South America to find closely related species of fungus that were not in symbiosis with termites. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did a lot of genomics and phylogenetics, and at the moment I'm working on a different group of fungus growing insects. They're called ambrosia beetles, so they're
Mm-hmm.
fungus growing beetles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a bit of my thing, symbiosis, fungus growing insects, those kind of things. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. So that's part of your trail running thing, like wherein like you get to be with the nature and like
yeah.
that's nice. Nice.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a biologist. So I really like nature, and actually the trail running sort of also complements skating.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Netherlands, we it's I think a lot more different than the climate in India, for
Yes.
example. So in the Netherlands, like half of the year you'll have rain, right? And
Yeah.
at
Okay.
some point, I was just completely fed up with skating in the rain because it's
Mm-hmm.
just not nice. You get a lot of spray up from the wheels,
Yep.
and even with the fenders, the mud flaps and stuff, it's still all your gear wears
Mm-hmm.
down a lot quicker. So I thought, I need something I can do in the winter to keep fit, and yeah, that was basically running.
Oh.
And since with skateboarding, you're sort of dependent on roads, right?
Mm-hmm.
On more urban areas. And then with the running, you can actually go, beyond that. So you can go to small trails in the forest and very steep roads in the mountains and those kind of things. So, and you're more into nature, I think. Although if you find some quiet roads skating, it's also a very nice experience in nature. But yeah, it it was really big discovery for me, the whole running thing. And then
Oh.
I also got into the more ultra running things, and it's a bit similar, I would say, to the distance skateboarding community. The ultra running community is also very welcoming, very inclusive, and yeah, very nice group of people, basically. So yeah.
That's amazing. So I saw your Instagram profile. Like I should say, like you have some amazing pictures over there. Are you interested in
Mhm.
photography as well? Do you carry your camera with you all the time?
Yeah, so I only use my phone basically, but
Okay.
I like taking pictures, but I never really got into photography into the whole camera stuff. But yeah, I just enjoy taking nice pictures of the scenery and some of the things I encounter during skates or runs. So yeah.
That's amazing. So, what is your go-to app on your mobile phone for tracking your trails or like your running or your cycling thing or your distance skating?
So for the tracking, I use a Garmin watch. I currently have the Garmin Phoenix 6,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I use the Strava app and the Garmin Connect app.
Okay.
on the phone basically. And previously, you probably know we had the Endomondo as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, especially in the skateboarding community, used it. But yeah, that one got abandoned. So people
Yeah.
switched to various other apps. And since I was already using Strava, I just kept it at Strava, and I didn't install another app basically.
You have the subscription for Strava as well?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I use it. I use it daily. So I thought, I just and one thing that is really nice, I think, of Strava is the route builder option. So um, you can make routes for cycling. Well, and then cycling is also skating basically, and for running
Mm-hmm.
based on the heat maps. So you can see where people run and where people ride their
Oh.
bikes, and based on that, you can build routes, which I think is a very nice function. And
Mm-hmm.
I've actually used that quite a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was fan of Endomodo too. I was using it for my walking and everything. So keeping that aside, so what kind of long distance board you use? Like, tell me about your board.
my board. Yeah, that's an interesting story
Uh-huh.
because I've had my own board company for a while, which
Wow.
was called Vandra Skateboards.
Uh-huh.
There's still an Instagram account. I never took it down, but I don't post on it anymore.
Oh.
But in 2015, that was right after I finished my
Mm-hmm.
master biology.
Mm-hmm.
I needed some time to find a job, and I didn't get my PhD straight away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always interested in making boards. And I had a good friend. He's called Lutze,
Mm-hmm.
and he started simple longboards.
Mm-hmm.
You may have heard of it. They still exist, but the company is not his anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically had all the tools for making boards. So he used vacuum bags, and they said, "Well, yeah, if you want to make some boards, you can do that in my workshop, and you just buy your own materials, and then you can make some boards."
Uh-huh.
So then, yeah, in 2015, I started to make some boards, and yeah, I really liked the process, the research and development, because I could test my own boards,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that led to some of the boards I still ride now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make them anymore, so everything I now have, it's very precious to me. I hope they will hold up for quite a while because yeah, at the moment I'm not in a position where I can make new ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically, and I sold some as well. So for about 2.5 years, I
That's
sold the
amazing.
boards. But yeah, at some point I got the PhD,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Which is also a
training
great thing.
training for races, making boards, doing a PhD all at the same time. It was just too much. So yeah, I basically had to stop making the boards.
Okay.
But yeah, I still ride them
Okay.
today. Yeah.
That's nice. If I had heard it correctly, you mentioned Honda, is it? As in like the bearings, which has two sides of ball rings on that. It's that the same company of your friend, or like it's a different
So
company? I'm
sorry,
talking.
the the company.
Yeah, you talked about your friend's company. Is that the Honda bearing company, or like it's the longboard
No, no, no.
company?
It's called Simple Longboards.
Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
hmm
okay. So, what kind of board would you recommend for a big size rider like me?
Ooh, good question.
Okay.
So I guess um, yeah, most people now they ride bracket boards. It
Mm-hmm.
also depends, of course, on what you want to do. Because if you're just pushing a lot, I always would recommend a pusher because
Mm-hmm.
the brackets are pretty expensive, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they are only really working if you also pump.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yeah, if you have a bracket board, yeah, you just need a stiff board, I guess. And yeah, I think the various companies they will offer different types of flex based on the rider's weight. So it's really the best to contact the company and say, do you have a board for somebody of this weight. That
Yeah.
that's usually what people do, I think.
What would you recommend for a newcomer or a youngster who's just stepping into long distance skateboarding? What kind of board you would recommend?
I guess Pantheon Trip or something. I think the Pantheon boards are really great for basically the whole range. Also for more experienced riders. But yeah, I think the pusher lineup is pretty good for beginners as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically, if you wanna ride distances, basically every just top mount pintail board is also fine. It's
Okay.
usually the wheels and the bearings. If you ride really crappy bearings and wheels, it just doesn't roll. So
True.
um, if you have a board with good wheels and good bearings, and probably also the trucks should also be okay
Hmm.
um, to be able to steer well.
Nimble. Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, exactly. And then yeah, you can. I mean, that's how I started with distance skating. I mean, I just started on a regular pintail board,
Hmm.
and then I figured out it was a lot easier to push a board that is low to the ground. And then I borrowed this longboard Larry, and then after that I got the Subsonic Raven. Um, yeah, Subsonic was also a great company from the US. Their boards were like really good, but yeah, that company also yeah, they disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott from Subsonic, he quit, and then another guy
Subsonic
took over the
Century.
company, and
Yeah.
and now I don't know what they're up to these days, but I don't think they sell much anymore,
Okay.
which was a shame because they were also a very good board company.
Mm.
They did a lot of custom stuff as well, which was also what people like.
Oh.
Yeah, they could also make, for example, in your case, a board based on rider weight. They could just add another ply of wood or something if you want a stiffer board or something.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I never
Mhm.
knew about that part of subsonic. And in India, we don't have access to all that. We have to import them.
Mhm.
So my knowledge
Yeah, yeah.
is very theoretical on the surface
Hmm.
level. So, and yeah, so the place you're from right now, like Wageningen, am I pronouncing right? Did you get the place name? Okay. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, how supportive it is for your athletic activities, say, as in flat grounds as well as the uphill stuff.
Sorry, I missed the first part. It was a bit laggy.
I'm
Can you
sorry.
repeat the question?
How is your place, Wageningen, very supportive of your athletic activity, like distance skating in flat grounds as well as in uphill?
Mm. Yeah, so that's what I realize now. So at the moment I'm living in Germany, but before that I lived for 12 or 14 years or something, pretty long time in
Wow.
Wageningen.
Oh.
And yeah, as you know, I mean, pretty much the entire Netherlands is like super flat,
Oh.
which is very nice. And we have yeah, pretty good bicycle infrastructure. So a lot of cycling paths, also separate from the road, so you're not on the road with the cars,
Mm-hmm.
which is really great of the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And the place Wageningen where I lived
Mm-hmm.
was actually pretty good, also because we had hills. People in the Netherlands would call them mountains, but it's like 50 meters above sea level, right? So
Wow.
so hills at best. But yeah, that was, for me, that was very nice because it was one part of the Netherlands where you had the flat stuff, but also the more hilly stuff. So for running, for skating, it was super. Yeah, I would call it skateboarding paradise actually.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, but I mean here it's a bit more mountainous. Here there's actual mountains of like 1400 meters up sea level,
Mm-hmm.
which is super nice for running. But yeah, for skating it's not that great. I mean, I think probably Adam from the US, he would
Ah,
he would go out here and skate.
oh,
But
yeah.
my downhill skills are basically non-existing. So I would only want to skate up, and then somebody would pick me up and bring me down again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing. So, how about your place, other place that you have mentioned in the profile lesson, like Brand Winjik,
Bronswijk.
Bronzeweg, and so,
Yeah, that's my place of birth.
so how it was helping your skills to, like interest you in skateboarding and other things.
Well, so I only lived there for 2 years, the first 2 years of my life. So
Oh,
actually, I grew up actually close to Wageningen in a village called Renen.
uh-huh.
So basically, the place where I lived, Wageningen, was also because it was like 9 kilometers from Wageningen or something where I grew up. So the place where I grew up was pretty similar. Um,
Oh, I understood.
and there in the arena I also started skateboarding with a couple of friends basically, and yeah, we really got into it, and we had a very small skate park over there, and we spend the entire day
Mm,
with those friends at the skate park practicing tricks
lovely.
and those kind of things. So yeah, living there has been pretty instrumental for my skating, I guess, because I basically started with longboarding and long distance when I became a student in Wageningen. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice. So, tell me about your victory with Misfits Marathon last week.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So the Misfits Marathon is a very nice event. They also been uh, I think it was like the sixth edition or something, and I've been to all of them.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, so last year we had also a guy who's been involved. So it was Thomas Slager.
Mm-hmm.
He's yeah, he was sort of the prodigy, Dutch prodigy when it comes to marathon skating. He was like super fast,
Mm-hmm.
so he beat me last year, and yeah, I didn't know whether he would show up this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this year, Kenton Cocker from the UK
Mm-hmm.
showed up. He had been at the ultra skate as well,
Mm.
and also at the ultra skate he was going super fast,
Yeah,
and
I was
so
following the live feed.
I saw him, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting, because
Uh,
yeah, he's going to make it a difficult race for me,
uh,
and yeah, that's also what happened. So he took off, super fast, and yeah, I was like, okay, if he's able to maintain this pace, I would definitely lose, but
mm-hmm.
after about 8 or 9 kilometers, he slowed down,
Okay.
and yeah, I think he's a really great skater.
Uh-huh.
I don't know him very well. I talked with him a little bit. He is apparently an experienced triathlete,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he recently also got into skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also showed that he ultra skated. He certainly has the ability, but yeah, he really has to work on his sort of race plan and race tactics, because if he would sort of divide his energy better, I think he would have made it a very difficult race for me. So yeah, I think it's basically experience, because he hasn't been in a lot of races, at least not internationally that I know of. So I think in a few years, he will be one of the fastest. I think.
So that's so
Yeah.
nice of you to talk about your fellow rider, and you have been studying your fellow riders to improve your skills as well. That's amazing thing for us to learn from. And you also
Mm-hmm.
spoke about your statistics and everything, wherein like you have your own thing and you also study the other people statistics, like how they play their game and the race and everything. That's amazing thing for us to
Mm-hmm.
take away from this interview, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, and it'll be even more wonderful if you show some, like throw some light over Dutch ultra skate experience and Miami ultra skate experience. Uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So the Dutch ultra skate, like I said, is basically how I got into skating.
Uh huh.
And the first Dutch ultra skate, or the first ultra skate in the Netherlands, I would have to say, was in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that, but I got involved the next year in 2011, and we basically started out at a public track. So it was like a 3 kilometer loop,
Mm-hmm.
but it was around a little lake close to the airport, actually Schiphol Airport, close to Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
in Hoofddorp. It
Mm-hmm.
was, and yeah, we were just a bunch of people, maybe 10 people or something. It was like a super small group,
Oh.
and yeah, we just skated on a public track. There were people walking their dogs, a lot of
Oh.
pedestrians, and at night there were these kids drinking and smashing
Whoa.
bottles at some point. And
Whoa.
yeah, so it actually a little bit, yeah, dangerous. No, it got annoying, with
Okay.
glass on the track. Yeah, I mean
Definitely it
that's
is.
not nice. So basically, I wanted to bring the ultra skate sort of to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also wanted to make it more of an international event. So that is basically when I sort of took over, because the previous ultra skates were organized by a guy named Edwin.
Mm-hmm.
He had a company called Baka Boards.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He was specialized in these top mount pumpers,
Mm-hmm.
and he started like the Dutch ultra skate, or the ultra skate in the Netherlands, basically in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also communicating with James Peters at the time, and yeah, they had a nice thing going. And then I thought, we need a track uh, which we can rent, so that there's no people smashing bottles, no people with dogs, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, in 2013, I together with Lonneke, my girlfriend at
Mm-hmm.
that time,
Mm-hmm.
we started organizing the skates in Spaarndam,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the track which you have seen in the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think this year was the eighth edition, because we had to skip 2 years because of the COVID pandemic.
Oh yeah.
And basically over the years it grew. I think the first edition we had maybe 25 or 30 participants at best.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, that sort of developed. It got more international attention. We had a lot of people from overseas coming, and which eventually led we had this sort of rider cap of 100 people, because yeah, we like to stay a small event, because it's yeah, just two people basically organizing it, and
No.
yeah, we just don't have the manpower at the moment to host the event. And besides that, we also have the limitations of the track. So if you have hundreds of people on a small track,
Very true.
yeah, you get troubles. So, but I think the last 2 or 3 editions, we actually had more people, more
Registering.
international people
Uh,
than Dutch people. Because at the start, when we started organizing it, was mainly Dutch people, a couple of Germans, a couple of French people,
mm-hmm.
and then later, yeah, we had people from Scandinavia, from Singapore, from the US,
That's
of
amazing.
course, and yeah, and yeah, that was super nice, because I think for a lot of people, it also is like a big get together for
Mm-hmm.
sort of the international scene.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's the same, of course, in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, I've only been there once,
Oh,
but I'm planning to go in 2023, so next year.
that's amazing.
But the feeling is similar. It's like a big get together of the distance skateboarding community.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's very sportive of you. And I actually walked into the question of Dutch Ultra Skate thinking that you're going to share the experience of racing on the Dutch Ultra Skate, but I ended up hearing a much surprise news like you were the organizer and you were behind the initiative of Dutch Ultra Skate. That's amazing, actually. So,
Yeah, yeah. So that, yeah, I'm both skating and I'm organizing it, and yeah, skating. I mean, I can also give a whole talk about my experience skating it, if you would like to hear. So
definitely,
yeah, just,
definitely. Yeah, yeah, we have time. We have all the time. I'm all yours.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I've been involved quite a while, so I have quite a lot of stories to tell when it comes to distance skateboarding.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I was always very intrigued with skating for 24 hours. But when we started out in 2010, it was you know not much was known because skating for
Mm-hmm.
24 hours is very demanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for mentally, physically,
Exactly.
your gear. So a lot of things when we started in 2010, 2011 were just not known. So
Mm.
people were skating at the time the super low push boards and these hybrid bracket boards. They didn't really exist at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, people didn't know much about nutrition and those kind of things. I think my first ultra skate I did like 200 kilometers or something,
Oh,
and I think one of the last ones before the Sparendam era, I did 200 miles, so 326
wow.
or something. I did at the time at this public track, basically, which
Wow.
I think was quite a big achievement.
Absolutely.
The world record at the time was held by Paul Kent,
Mm-hmm.
the 250 miles or 405 or 6 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one Dutch guy. His name was Imke Posma, and
Mm-hmm.
he was really focused on getting that world record. And he did several attempts,
Uh-huh.
and he never got it. And basically, after those years, um, yeah, I have to the chronology of the world record, but I think it was Andy Andrus who
Oh,
came
yes.
into the scene at that point, and and then actually Rick Pronk,
Mm-hmm.
our Dutch champion.
Oh,
I actually got him in skating.
wow.
I had to convince him,
Uh-huh.
but but as soon as he entered the scene, I remember the first ultra skate. I think it was the first ultra skate that he did.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had the same distance, so something like 380 kilometers or something.
Wow.
But after that, yeah, Rick got really into it, and yeah, he's a really talented guy. And then it was basically a sort of battle between him and Andy for the world record. And at first, Andy broke like the 300-mile mark,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, well, Rick at some point did the 500k.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always a bit sort of behind that. So I did 250 miles. I
That's
don't know which
amazing.
year again, but at the Dutch Ultra Skate as well. When Rick and Andy at that moment they tied. They both skated the same distance, so they tied for the world record.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in third with my first 250 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, people started to skate the hybrid setups, the bracket boards.
Mm-hmm.
But I did my first 250 miles on a pusher, so
Wow.
no pumping.
Mm-hmm.
On the pusher, I made myself with my Vandra skateboards
That's
company,
amazing. That's amazing.
and then yeah, the year after, I basically discovered the bracket boards,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought, yeah, let's do 300 miles, which was like a 80-kilometer increase of my PB,
That's
and
amazing.
then that year I failed. So
Okay.
I did 470 something. I came 2 or 3 laps short for 300 miles.
Oh,
Um,
but
and
still
then
inspiring.
yeah, and then the year after, I was really determined on getting it. You know, the 300 miles. It was
Mm-hmm.
like a big thing for me. And then together with Stan
Mm-hmm.
Becker
Mm-hmm.
and Felipe.
Mm-hmm.
Felipe Scovado.
Mm-hmm.
We skated the 300 miles, the three of us, which was yeah, that was a truly amazing experience because we skated together for
Mm-hmm.
the whole race, and
Mm-hmm.
we all made it. We all ended up with the same distance. I think it was
Awesome.
491 kilometers or something.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, that was one of my best ultra skate experiences as a skater.
Memorable.
Um, yeah, yeah, for sure. And then, of course, well, I think the year after or the same year, Rick broke the world record with 504
Mm-hmm.
kilometers. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like the first to go
Oh,
beyond the
500.
500-kilometer mark.
That's great.
And yeah, and then I thought, also
Jomazone.
compared how good
Oh,
I felt after the 300 miles
mm,
compared to the year before, where I was completely destroyed, not making it with 2 or 3 laps.
mhm.
I thought, 500 is also possible.
That's
So
great.
that's basically my current goal to also break 500 kilometers.
Best wishes, sir.
But basically, the last edition before COVID, there was a big heat wave in the Netherlands, so it was
Oh,
35 degrees or whatever, super hot. So I basically ended up with sort of a semi heat stroke.
oh,
I pushed that world record pace, but I had to quit early. And then so this
and
year
this year it
it
was
was
rains.
was
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
this year was rain, so I kept world record pace for the first 12,
Yeah, I
13
was
hours or
following it.
something,
It
and
was
then
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and then it started to rain, and I thought, I just skate the 200 miles for the heck of it, but then I just quit, and because I could have gone for the win or something, but for me, ultra skate is more about my breaking my personal goals rather than the more competitive aspect. So I
Mm.
thought I better um, quit early and recover instead of wearing myself out for a podium spot and skating under horrible conditions. So yeah,
I wish you all the best for the next year, sir. I'm sure like you'll hit 500 mark. Like
yeah. It's just I mean I still keep improving, so I have pretty good expectations for that. Yeah.
so are we. Sir, it's the very first time I'm hearing from Adam or beat you, like the uphill race, throw some light about the Land King,
Ah, yeah.
that race, like it's something very new for us in the long
Yeah,
distance
so
skating community.
the uphill stuff is a bit crazy, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny that Adam in the US is sort of doing a similar thing with skating up hills.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I think he's a bit more of a lot more skilled because he actually also can ski down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what at some point me and my friends, so basically Stan, Rick, and Jonathan Koning,
Mm-hmm.
we sort of decided, why not try to skate up some of these famous mountains, cols they do in the Tour de France.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know about the Tour de France, very famous stage race for cycling here in Europe,
Okay.
and a lot of people watch it on TV, and they go up mountain passes, and they're very famous. So we just picked a bunch of them and skated them up, and we figured out it actually doable.
Oh,
It's not for everyone because you need to be super fit to do it.
exactly.
Because on a skateboard you don't have gears. It's yeah,
Yeah.
you need to maintain a certain pace because otherwise you're basically dragging your board along. You're just walking and dragging your board along. So you really
Yep.
need to maintain a sort of pace. And then this Schouwensland is actually close to the place where I live now. So it's in Freiburg,
Mm-hmm.
and we basically heard of it from a local skater here,
Mm-hmm.
Adi Seeker,
Mm-hmm.
and he invited us a couple of years back to join this race.
Oh,
And it's a time trial up, so you only go up,
okay.
and then you can. So there's like this little lift
Mm-hmm.
thingy on top, so you can just take it down. You don't have to skate down.
Oh,
So that's actually pretty amazing. And the race format is that people go up
uh-huh.
the hill with all different kinds of transportation. So people use regular bikes, but people also go with these roller skis or inline skates. And there's also a separate division where you have a bike with a kiddie trailer.
Uh-huh.
Unicycles also go up, and I've seen tandems,
Wow.
so two people bikes, and
Wow.
yeah, basically everything that has wheels can go up there. So it's a really fun, it's a really great format, and it's really unique. I don't think there's any
Exactly.
race in Europe or in the world with that type of format, at least not that I know of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very intriguing as well. So, like, throw some light about your cross-country pass through recently. Like you went across three countries like Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Like, how was that ride? Like, you have mentioned
Ah, the
that.
Bodensee, you
Yeah.
mean, around this big lake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So um, there have been some plans by this Italian skater
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Coppola. He had a plan to make a stage race, sort of
Mm-hmm.
similar to the Chief Ladiga in the US,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to do it around the lake, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he wanted to make, because the Ladiga is 188 miles, I think, so about 300 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
This loop is a little bit less, so 160, 170
Mm-hmm.
kilometers. And at some point, he invited me and Stan to do the loop around the Bodensee.
Mm-hmm.
The three of us with backpacks, just not in one go, but in several days, and to check out the track, whether it was suitable for a race.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, basically, then he decided it's not suitable for a race because
Oh.
there's some gravel sections, and there's also some sections through towns, and
Oh.
yeah, he was afraid that it would be, and it's very, very busy. So it's
Oh.
it's a really popular area for people to do cycling trips and to walk. And
Oh.
yeah, he was afraid that there will be dangerous situations with pedestrians,
Mm-hmm.
cyclists, and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still intrigued to do the entire loop in one day. That sounded
Wow.
like a very good challenge.
Ultra
Yeah.
skate
So
kind.
basically, yeah. So it's because the ultra skate is nice. It's very nice to sort of test your own limits and to see what you can do in 24 hours. But
Mm.
yeah, in the end, it's just skating the same loop over and
Yeah.
over again. While people always tell me, yeah, you did almost 500 kilometers. You could have skated from the Netherlands to Paris, and you would have actually seen a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sure. But and that's basically why we do some of these longer tours, right? To sort of you
Yeah.
know have some scenery, and it's really beautiful,
To
the
have
the,
a
the
different
loop around the
experience,
Bodensee.
keep inventing yourself some sort of that
Hmm.
thing. Okay. So, have you
Yeah.
ever tried the cross country roller skiing? Uh,
No, but
okay.
so the place where I live now, it has snow, so I'm actually planning to actual cross country skiing in
Oh,
the winter when there's snow. Yeah.
that's amazing, sir. So, kindly tell us about some of your friends in the long distance skating community.
Yeah, yeah. So um, with the skateboard company, the Vandra skateboards, I actually also had a team.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bunch of skaters who would also ride my boards, and yeah, basically they are also my friends. And then we also have, well, I would say basically I would call a lot of people here in the distance skateboard community my friends. But basically the people I skate most with is Rick, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Also Stan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been doing more other stuff lately. He's been into bikepacking at the moment, and but we also ran together.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jonathan is also a very good friend and skater. And then we also have people who join us on trips, on the skateboarding trips. So Pat,
Oh,
Anton, Joey. I mean, they're all
yep.
very good friends. Erik, the Norman, you probably also know him from Facebook. He's also
Yes, sir.
he's also a good friend. And then I have Jeri, who
Mm-hmm.
does the timing at the Ultra Skate, and
Mm-hmm.
he also joined on several trips.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a great bunch of people.
That's amazing, sir. So that brings us to the end of the session. So thank you so much for your
Hmm.
awesome, valuable time. Spending with us, the people from other part of the world, and for the LDS community in total. And I should say, like, I scrolled your Instagram profile, literally like 10 rolls on my scroll, and I've got this much of thing to talk about with you. I don't know if I'm going to go through entire profile of your Instagram, how much stories I could get. I think we should do this some other time again so that we can learn so
Yeah,
much.
sure, for sure.
We could learn so much things from you. It was absolutely awesome. I had a great time with
Yeah.
you, and uh,
Yeah, and actually, to be honest, I would also really like your perspective on the skating in India because
yes,
uh, I was really surprised that you showed up as like distance skater from India. And to
out of
be
the
honest,
blue.
I'm also very interesting
Uh,
in hearing your experience of skating in India because I think that's also a very special and interesting thing to talk about.
So, yes, I'm so honored for having a great person like you asking me about that. In India, it's as you said, like it's very busy street. You got to ride
Hmm.
along with the regular traffic. Uh, if you don't have a separate bike paths, probably the
Hmm.
close community, as in like you have a factory on the other side and you have a living area of these people for that factory, that community may have a good place for people to skate. Otherwise, you're going to skate with the national highway when you have big trucks
Hmm.
going around. You'll find a cow
Hmm.
out of the blue. You'll find whatnot, and you got to go through everything. So it's very competitive, very challenging. But still, if you want to keep your passion, you got to keep doing it so that more people will follow, and it becomes thing over
Hmm.
here in over the years. So it's definitely
Hmm.
challenging, but very interesting. That would be my
Yeah, yeah, and you enjoy it. That's, I
absolutely.
guess,
I
the
love
most
it.
important thing.
Every
Yeah,
minute
yeah.
of being on the wheels was really liberating for me. So that would be my
Okay.
experience. But it wouldn't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the
That's
entire experience for the other skaters here, but like it's my experience. That's all I could say. So, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think you're doing an amazing job. Promoting skating and
Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah. I really hope it would be so nice if there would be an actual India distance skateboard community
Absolutely, sir.
in a couple of
Absolutely.
years. So I really hope you can achieve such a thing. And
If
I also hope in the future you could join Dutch Ultra Skate or whatever
oh,
event in the future.
thank you so much.
Would be
Thank you.
nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Sir, finally, a few words for the long distance skating community. If you have to say anything, you can. It's your stage.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful for the long distance skateboarding community. I mean, like this, for example. I mean, meeting people from over the world, it's super amazing. And yeah, I've dedicated a part of my life to this scene because I
Hmm.
think it's such a nice, welcoming group of people. And yeah, I've had so many great adventures, and yeah, I'm really thankful for it. And I would thank everyone listening, everybody, all the distance skateboarders for being so awesome. Yeah,
Hmm. Thank you, sir. That was so nice and so kind of you. Thanks for trusting me for this interview. Thank you, one and all. Nandri, Nandri
yeah,
from my land. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Off the record, so did I kept you comfortable? Like you were okay
Mhm.
with the video call? Like, would you
Yeah, yeah, sure. Very nice.
uh,
Thank you.
would you recommend people for such interactions? Definitely. I'm like, am I okay enough to like to go ahead and talk to people? Uh,
Yeah, sure. I mean, in my experience, everybody is very nice. So if you have questions for people, I would not hesitate. I would just ask them right away.
thank you,
And
thank you.
you see, there's a lot of people active on Instagram.
Hmm.
I mean, I personally would try to get in touch with Adam Ornells
Yes,
from the US.
yes.
Uh, he's relatively new to the scene, but as you see, he's an amazing skater, very
Hmm.
very good.
Hmm.
And I don't know much about him, for example. So I think it would be nice. I think he also has a lot of stories to tell. He's from competitive cycling, I think. So I think he would be an interesting candidate to interview. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great week.
Yeah, and enjoy the rest of your day. And if you wanna talk about something, a race or something in the future, you can just contact me and we can schedule another call.
Oh, that's really kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You got
All
to
right.
give me some time to edit this video and put it up online. So,
Yeah, yeah, sure. Take your time.
thank you,
It's fine.
thank you, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Bye, bye.
See you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
bye.